Who y'all Recruiter Nation? Chief Totemay here for episode 18 of Uncharted Waters with the one, the only, the people's champ, Admiral James Waters. Today we have an outstanding guest with over 29 years of naval service, the Pensacola legend, the epitome of deck plate leadership, Command Master Chief Jeremy Konopka. Master Chief, welcome.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Heck of an intro there.
Want to make sure you feel special.
All right.
Master Chief.
Not that you've never sat on the couch before, but it's great to have you on the podcast.
Who y'all? Master Chief, can you talk to us a little bit about your 29-year journey to being Command Master Chief?
Absolutely. My 29-year journey, of course, started in Pensacola, fresh out of high school. Not sure what I was going to do next, and I'm a Navy brat, and it's the life I knew, and I decided to join the Navy. So they said, you want to go submarines? I said, oh, let's do it. Pretty easy. So I joined as a submarine communications ET, kind of the first round of ET's former non-radioman. Went to school, ended up on the USS Boston as my first ship, long since decommissioned. From there, went to shore duty in Kings Bay at the submarine watch floor. And then second submarine after sea school, USS Memphis. It is there I made Chief Petty Officer.
Okay.
And then from there decided to further progress and took an ISIC billet out in wonderful Guam, way out there in the Pacific. Great time out there. Made Senior Chief first time up. So decided to pursue command quals, and I went back to the Henry M. Jackson out of Bangor as the chief of the boat. And again, was progressing, made Master Chief, decided the next step was Command Master Chief, applied, got selected, and then said, let's go see what life is like outside the submarine force, and went to an aviation squadron, VFA 192 out of Lemoore, California.
Beautiful Lemoore.
Beautiful Lemoore. Hey, saw a lot of California. And then in my short stint with VFA 192, spent time on the Reagan, the Vinson, and the George Washington.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Did Southern Seas deployment with George Washington, and a full deployment on Vinson, and started another when I left. From there, NTAG Jacksonville, which was my intro to Navy recruiting.
Love it.
From there, base CMC in Charleston, and now Navy Recruiting Command. So
Yeah.
it's been a journey.
Extensive.
It's been a journey.
Extensive.
Yeah. And this is no small organization to be Command Master Chief over.
It is not. It is not.
Yeah, it's about 6,000
6,000
strong.
And geographically diverse.
Yes, quite.
Everywhere. We are everywhere.
I love
Yeah,
it.
including Guam.
Including Guam. Yes.
So, Master Chief initiation is upon us. Can you speak a little bit about some of our Chief initiation training?
Oh yeah, the results just came out. So
Yeah.
we've got about right now 169 Chief Selects across the nation, to
Congratulations.
include Alaska, Puerto Rico, Hawaii. We got a few PGs coming, about 203 total, I think, going to be in the enterprise before it's all said and done.
It's fantastic. It also speaks really well of who is coming to Recruiting Command, that so many Chief Selects are inbound.
Yes, sir, and that is across, every platform, every rating, every reserve, active, FTS.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're going to start Chiefs initiation. We're doing something a little different this year. Our first of hopefully many to come.
Okay.
Bringing selects here to NRC to introduce them to really the personnel epicenter of the Navy, really, with Navy recruiting, and going to kind of give them an intro to everything we do at headquarters, what goes on at region, the daily ops, but also give them a glimpse of PERS, of selection board process, MNCC and the call center. So just everything
Community managers, I think.
Community managers, detailers.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that's about 40 of the selects that will come here. So we'll
Yes, sir.
take a one or two, I guess, out of each of the NTAGs and our tags, to bring them together here.
Absolutely,
right?
sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it's going to be a great week.
We will have representation from every NTAG and the RTAGs. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
fantastic. And there'll be some mentors with them.
Yes, sir.
And so this is part of really emphasizing the significance of the transition from first class petty officer to become chief petty officer, to bring together some of the very best from our organization, to learn about recruiting, as well as you point out the other aspects of My Navy HR, to be able to bring those back to their own organizations,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And
That's
thanks
it.
for your leadership in nugging that out. Because for the recruiters out there, it is no simple task to bring together an event like this. That's a full week, multiple ships, sort of dividing the group up, different places, moving them around, and really giving them some quality training.
Yes,
so
sir.
thanks.
Booyah. So, Master Chief, can we speak a little bit about funding? Because we know this is going to cost.
Yes. So for this trip, and I'm sure the Admiral's going to jump in, and right, chief season and chief training is very important. So for this trip, I kind of urge the boss to have Navy recruiting fund it and not have the NTAGs worry about it. So we're going to do that and cross-org it.
Yeah.
But every NTAG is funded for CPO training. Okay. So they, CPO funding can be funded in alignment with the exceptions the Admiral has put out there, and within the NTAG budget. I think that's the big one everybody's got to realize. So
Yeah. So as we integrate this together, this conversation about Chiefs development and the transition to Chief Petty Officer, there's the 40 that we'll fund to come here. This should be viewed as an opportunity to really see how it's done here in My Navy HR Central. But broadly, I know in the past there's been some challenges in sort of final night and pinning. I want to make clear, and certainly back me up on this, CMC, because we've been working on this together. I want to make clear that bringing chiefs together for training can include final night and pinning, so it can be organized at the right time to do that at the right point in September. And it just, to your point, has to fit within the budget and has to meet the conference exceptions that I've signed out from the beginning of my time here. But it's all integrated so that 40, the training will occur right before final night and pinning, so that those individuals can go back and contribute
Love it.
to that training.
yes, sir.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, Master Chief, as an alum of Heritage Week, can you speak a little bit about this phenomenal opportunity?
So that was in reference to USS Constitution, that hosts selectees and mentors to live the life, if you will, of those that went before us back on the Constitution. So the history of that and Boston was amazing. I say living on board the ship. We slept on the wooden decks, so that was amazing. But really getting out and integrating and engaging with the community, and marching through the city and stopping at all the attractions and Paul Revere's house, and it's an amazing time with a great group of people too. So the camaraderie is great with I think it's 123 ish. I could be off. 123, 126 selects, along with 23 mentors. So it's a big group, and it's a great time. And to that being said, we fall under NETSI domain, but we have 3 quotas for CNRC for selectees to attend Heritage Week.
That's amazing.
Yeah, what an amazing opportunity that is.
So-
I mean, I've obviously not been through that event, but having been on Constitution, as a tourist, but also doing a couple of re-enlistments there from my time being stationed in Connecticut, it is, it's palpable, that sense of naval history.
It is awesome, so you'll get to go aloft and go up the rigging. I chose not to. I don't prefer heights. I can do it. They made it optional, so I didn't do it. And culminating with getting that ship underway,
absolutely,
and handling all those lines and raising the sails is just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So actually going through that, Heritage Week myself, I can't wait till the selects find out where the head is in the middle of the night. So, Master Chief, not to shift gears, but we kind of want to speak a little bit about the enlisted leadership development course. Can you speak a little bit to that?
I can, and that we've been talking about that for a little while now. The Navy came out, there's a deadline coming of calendar year 25. There are some recent changes, so yes, to be eligible for E6 and E7, you have to be Navy Enlisted Leadership Development complete. The most recent change, though, is the documenting of it. So we're moving away from documenting in fleet temps, and that's going to be now documented in CTARs going through NLIC, who will document it for us when the facilitators submit the class rosters. And then it will actually all culminate at the chief level with a new NEC of 8 LDC. So, then throughout your time going through boards, whatever, they'll see that NEC. So that's the most recent change. But it's going to start, the requirement is coming with the January exam for our first classes to be eligible for chief.
Yeah, but there's admin associated with it, there's tracking, but talk a little bit about what does it bring? So,
and the great thing about this course, it lines up so well with GB, with COE 2.0, and it's really focused at character development and self-awareness. So, two traits that go hand in hand with those. So if you want to learn about yourself and building great leaders, great teams, then it's a great course.
That's great. That's great. And we're doing pretty well across the nation. There's still work to be done to get everyone through it, and it's really hard. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you have a giant organization like this that's distributed everywhere, it's hard. But there are a lot of good options available to take the course, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So aside from commands facilitating it, NLIC offers virtual options for the E6 and below course, which that's kind of tailor-made for us here in Navy recruiting. The chief level course, although not available virtually, NRC stands by. I've got a mobile training team that we've kind of put together, and when people need assistance, facilitators out there in the field, we're more than happy to send them out. We just happened to have one call in, had a NTAG that had an issue and had a facilitator fall out, and sent them out there. So
that's great. That's great.
So, Master Chief, in March of this year, Culture of Excellence 2.0 was released. Can you speak a little bit about the lines of effort?
So, I'll speak to our lines of effort here in Navy recruiting, what we're kind of working towards in regards to COE 2.0, because we're all going to be a little different, right? And Navy recruiting is going to be a little different with our separation. But kind of our first line of effort is instilling and inspiring. It's kind of what is forged by the sea, what makes us great sailors, which we talked about Constitution and the heritage and the tradition, and how can we make become the best versions of ourselves.
And I really like how the playbook defines great culture, right? This is about forged by the sea. What is it? It's establishing a culture where we get to solve hard problems with people we trust and respect, right? That it's our privilege and joy to work together to do those things. That's great culture, right? Defined in the playbook, and I think that resonates pretty well with me. So as you discussed that first line of effort, it's we can track and assess, but ultimately it's about inspiring that great culture across this incredibly geographically diverse organization.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
Absolutely.
and then kind of the second line of effort is the self-assessment, and it's we kind of took the playbook, which kind of goes over your basic programs and some of that stuff from a broad Navy perspective, and we try to define a little bit more of our challenges here in Navy recruiting, like I said, with our geographic separation. So how do we do some of these programs despite the barriers we have to overcome, and share that information, in the enterprise, because some have better ideas than others, and we share that stuff, and that's how we get better. So we've kind of put out our guidance of good, better, what is good, better, best in this environment.
Yeah,
So
for each of those programs.
for each of those programs, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, and allow the NTAGs to really take a look at themselves and say where they think they are on the spectrum of good, better, best for each of those programs, and then put together the things necessary to work to get to
get to best. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Amazing.
because the theory is if you have performance, good, better, best performance in each of those, then you will have a pretty good culture. You'll take care of sailors. You'll have a good organization. Yeah. So that's number 2.
Kind of those foundations of good
Yeah.
culture. Yeah. Number 3 is really the analytics part of it, and it's really defining our people-centered metrics. So what we've put together, and I've shared on our COE 2.0 SharePoint page, is some people-centered metrics that really deal with developing talent, retaining talent, your command climate, destructive behaviors, how we're doing at mission, and how all that ties together, and really compares you to the other NTAGs. And I use NTAGs because there's 26 NTAGs, right? And really not a poke in the eye or anything, but hey, how can I look and see where how is my organization or my NTAG performing in relation to other NTAGs in these areas? Whether it's, when I say developing talent, we talked about NELD. That's one of them. How do I compare? And where do I need to improve?
Yeah, because I'm sure you can feel like you're on an island out there, right? You're at an NTAG in the middle of the country, right, and you're not in a fleet concentration area. You don't have your brothers and sisters on other units around you. So this would be helpful in that, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and the final line of effort really is sensing, and so it's this people-centered metrics is a way of looking at us, and sensing for me is really about real-time understanding of what's on the minds of the sailors in our organization, and we're approaching that in a couple of ways. So we're working with Qualtrics, which is a survey organization that the Navy works with already, and we're working with to pilot a coaching system. Basically, it's an organization that uses virtual connection to do coaching of members of the organization. It's been used by other parts of the Navy, but we're going to try it at a couple of NTAGs. It'll both help the individuals being coached. We think they articulate that it can improve performance, but from a sensing perspective, while it's anonymized, we do get back, hey, these are the topics that the sailors that are being coached are asking about, are concerned about, that are in their closet of anxieties, right? Those things, and that can help us then know how to lead the organization better.
Absolutely.
That lines right up with the sensing in real time.
Yeah.
So, Master Chief, as we close out episode 18, what advice do you have for the enterprise?
I would say, what advice do I have for the enterprise? First of all, I want to say, I want to throw out there the enterprise. You're doing awesome. So our all the way from our frontline recruiters all the way up to the COs of the NTAGs out there. The performance that they've shown over the last few months has been awesome. And, I would say if it was easy, anybody could do it.
Oh, yeah.
So just keep out there, stay at it, and always any barriers, roadblocks, anything you have, that's why I'm sitting here and that's why the boss is sitting here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
feed that stuff up. That's what we want to remove. Albeit probably not as quick sometimes as people like, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
You're plenty quick.
Yeah, we try to be.
Love it. Sir, closing remarks?
Yeah, hey, it's been great having you on the podcast, CMC. We talk all the time, but I think it's really important for Recruiting Nation to get to know you a little bit, and kind of see the things that are on your mind and how you care about this organization. So I thank you for that. You've been part of this organization for quite a while and have plenty of time left to continue to make positive change.
Amen.
And I'm grateful for that. So
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, Hoo-yah Recruiting Nation.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Booyah.
Recruiting Nation, thank you so much for tuning into episode 18 of Uncharted Waters with the one, the only, the people's champ, Admiral James Waters. Chief Totemate, out.